Scott Howard Cooper from NBA.com, straight ahead for you. Steve had made the point after the first game of the playoffs that every now and then it's good to kind of get a little bit of a shove from the opponent, to not just win handily all the time. Did you get that feeling tonight that for the first time in a while that you guys had to play deep into the fourth quarter and that maybe that's a good thing?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. Any time, we have to figure things out as the course of the game goes on, especially late. We like that challenge. But in the same breath, too, there are a lot of good teaching points that we can make throughout the course of the game where we feel like we can be better as a unit.
Al Sarasovic, San Francisco Chronicle. I might argue an opposite point that it was a closer game, but you're winning pretty easily. What are your thoughts on keeping the team motivated and focused, having not been tested yet in the playoffs?
I'm going to switch seats with you next game. And then you let me know if you thought that was easy. It wasn't easy. We felt it. We know we can play better. We broke down in a lot of areas where we should have been better. But, in the same breath, too, yes, we did some nice things. We had 33 assists. We held them to 5 offensive rebounds. And then at the end of the day, we got the W. But, some of our guys hit big shots to keep stretching the lead once they pulled within, a few points. And so, I give our guys credit. They hung in there. They found a way to win. Anytime Utah went on a little run, we figured out how to stretch it just enough again to sustain it for a while until Utah went on another run. But that was a tough game for us. And what it shows us is that, Utah has some confidence, and they're going to be even more confident playing at home in front of their crowd.
Tim Kawakami, Mercury News. They closed the gap there early in the third quarter, and you went quickly to Iguodala in the small lineup. Was that part of a scenario you'd planned out, or was that just a reaction to what was going on? And how did you? Obviously, went on a run there after you did that.
Yeah, we've done that before in the past when we feel like we need to play faster and kind of scramble defensively. And I thought that Zaza played fine. It wasn't him, but I thought our pace overall as a unit was not good. Whether they scored or they missed shots or we got turnovers, we weren't getting out and really running and putting pressure on them. And what Andre does very well, especially if he gets the outlet or he gets the rebound, he's pushing that thing every time. And then a couple of times you can see when he got in the game, he filled the lane, he filled the wing. And whether he got a bucket or not, he created opportunities for others down the floor. And, you saw what Utah was doing. Every time we got out on the break, they were fouling us and to stop our break. So I threw him out there to try to push the pace, but also knowing that they were going to continue to foul us, and hopefully that would put us in the bonus a little sooner than later.
Anthony Slater with the Bay Area News Group. Mike, how scary was the Draymond knee thing that happened late in the game? And is there any update? Is there concern at all moving forward?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anytime any of our guys go down, it's a concern. And a guy like Draymond does so much for us on both ends of the floor that, and he very seldom goes down, And so when he did, you think that initially it's got to be serious. But, when I went over to him, asked him if he was all right, and right away he said yes. And so I don't know if you saw me, but I went over and huddled with my coaches pretty quickly after that because I knew he was all right.
Janie McCauley from AP. Mike, Draymond, his early shooting, getting that established from three-point range, how much did that open things up and keep them honest defensively with how you guys were shooting?
He was big, and, Draymond's at the top of the floor quite a bit. And, obviously their game plan is to have whoever's guarding Draymond sit in the lane. And so he's getting wide open threes, and, knock on wood, hopefully he'll keep shooting the ball the way he's been shooting it throughout the playoffs and make him pay. But he had great looks, and they were not just looks where he came up and shot it without a pass, but the ball moved a little bit and found him at the top of the floor, and he stepped in and shot it with confidence. So it's good for us.
Coach Brown, back to the 33 assists that you had mentioned, 4 year starters, Durant, Green, Thompson, and Curry. Iguodala coming off the bench, they totaled for 30 of those assists. you know, passing the ball around is one thing, but these guys are looking to hit those guys for baskets. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, our guys have been unselfish at least the entire time that I've been here, and I know watching them from afar, they always seem like an unselfish group, and you know, a lot of times I feel like they'd rather make the pass than make the shot. You know, at the end of the day, for most of our guys, and you know, when you have guys that are as talented as these guys are in terms of being able to pass, dribble, and shoot, they're all three-dimensional players. Makes the game easy for each of us. And, you know, we preach to our guys offensively, keep the game simple, especially offensively. And we got a little there and ended the game with 17 turnovers, so that hurt us. But, you know, it's part of it to a certain degree when you're moving it as much as we are. So applaud our guys for the 33 assists.
Mike, in the regular season, you guys had a tendency to sometimes ease up a little bit when you got a big early lead, and that kind of happened tonight. How do you rectify that going forward? What's the key to changing that?
You know, you just keep coaching them. And our guys they're very smart. They know how the flow of the game went. And, you know, I think to a man, they know that we can play better, you know, and there's no secret formula to it. We just got to keep preaching to our guys, keep it simple, and they have to keep understanding no matter what the score is, that's how we have to play the game. And if we do, with the shooting and scoring ability that we have, you know, we can always stretch the lead.
Lisa Su from Tencent. Coach, how do you describe Draymond's big impact since the playoffs started?
You know, like we said a few minutes ago, he's been shooting the ball very well, and you know, most teams so far, you know, once we got the ball moving a little bit, you know, Draymond pins away, and then he pops back to the top of the floor. Most times, whoever's guarding him is all the way down the floor, and so when that ball finds him after the third, fourth pass up at the top of the key, he's wide open, and he's been knocking that shot down. So, you know, if he's open, he's got to continue to shoot it. He's rebounded like the Dickens. He's come up with some huge rebounds for us to start our break. And then defensively, you know, he's been a monster. He's all over the place. He's helping at the rim. He's getting back out, contesting shots. He's switching on to smaller players. He's been a force for us defensively throughout the playoffs. So I'm impressed, or I'm pleased with the way he's playing.
2 Durant stats today, 7 assists, looked like he was passing it well, and then 15 free throw attempts. Just how big are those 2 things from him?
Well, the free throw attempts are huge. You know, we obviously have a great jump shooting team, and you know, we don't necessarily go into the post a lot to score. So KD is a guy that can obviously shoot threes or shoot a pull up from time to time. But you know, the thing we like about him is when he does attack, he's capable of finishing a lot of times. Not only the basket, but with an and one. And we've told him, or Steve's told him from day one, KD, you have to help us increase our free throw attempts, you know, because we know he can get fouled going to the rim. And he did a heck of a job with that tonight with the 15 free throw attempts.
Yeah. I'm Mark Purdy from the Mercury News. And saying, this is kind of follow up about KD. He was one of those guys you talked about when things got close. He made a play. I'm thinking of when it was 67-58. He got a rebound, went coast to coast and dunked, and then the next time down, Iguodala feeds him, and he comes down the lane with that big dunk. Is that something that you think he just does on his own, or do you encourage him to do that? And is that a full sign that he's just completely back? You don't have to limit him and everything, or did you even have any doubts about that?
No doubts about KD. You know, we don't have to limit him minute-wise at any time. He's back all the way, and yes, you know, there are things he can do out on the floor that can take some of the pressure off of Clay and Steph, especially down the stretch in tight ball games. He's capable of doing everything that you just said. Not only that, we can post him if we want to, and you know, we did after Steph and KD played pick and roll. There was a smaller guy on KD late in the game. They had to go double team, and you know, Andre being Andre made the right cut. KD sees over the top of the double team. Next thing you know, we get a dunk, and that's all predicated because KD's 6'11", 7 feet, and he's in a nice attack area, but he can see over most double teams.